Welcome back to the channel, viewers. Dragsters and transmissions. Tell your friends, subscribe to the channel. Anyways, today I've noticed I've gotten a few questions over the vacuum modulator install on a turbo 350 or 400 transmission. So I'm getting ready to put this transmission together to sell. Anyways, thought I'd go over the proper what you need to look for, because some of you just change the vacuum modulator that you go to Advanced Store, AutoZone, wherever, and you buy it and you put it in there, but there's something you need to check rather than just switch out the modulators. There's one more thing you need to check. So the first thing you want to do is look at the orientation of the hold down bracket. See how it bends in towards the transmission? Because if you put it the other way, it'll pull the modulator out. But you'll see that sure enough. But the only reason I'm showing that here is I got the case up on the workbench, and most of you is going to be doing this with the transmission in the vehicle, and in some of the cars there's not a lot of room, so just keep that in mind. So now let me grab my speed handle here. I just set this up for demonstration purposes. You want to loosen your bolt, remove your bracket, and now you can remove your vacuum modulator. Okay, all right. Now here's the other part you need to be concerned about. Right inside there's a valve. What you should do is pull this valve out. Get your pair of needle nose. Pull this valve out. It should come out fairly easy. Okay. Take your 2+2 carburetor cleaner, whatever it is you're using for cleaner, and you want to clean this really well. Okay. Scotch-Brite all the journals. Scotch-Brite them really good, because you want this thing to slide in and out. When you bottom it out in the case is what you're doing. You're pushing in as far as it'll go. Now, and you want it to be free. You don't want any burrs causing this valve to hang up. Now, if you'll notice right there, you have two holes. If I can get the focus here. All right, let me grab a pick. Okay. So right there, it's one hole. Two holes. And of course the end of it. A teeny tiny hole. It's probably not going to let me focus, but there is a tiny hole there. Okay. Now you want to make certain that after you clean this really good, that these two holes, once again, right there and there, are open. So if you've got some compressed air, or you want to take the nozzle from the carburetor cleaner can, spray through the end of it here, and watch cleaner come out both holes. But make sure you wear safety glasses and point the holes away from you, but still be able to see them. Because trust me, getting carburetor cleaner or any type of spray cleaner, anything in a spray can, really burns the eyes. So, all right, now another thing you want to check for is sometimes you'll find a spring on the end of this. If it's not on there when you remove the valve from the transmission case, you want to take a flashlight and look in the bore inside there. I'm not going to be able to show you really well, but it might have gotten dropped in there. Maybe, maybe not. Chances are it probably doesn't still have one. You would have to have an original transmission that's never been apart. And that's kind of hard to find these days in order to find that spring. I mean, you do what you want with the spring. I remove them. I don't use them, because what happens is if you're like putting through a parking lot or something, normally that spring will cause the transmission to get stuck in first gear. And I mean, it'll still shift. It doesn't hurt anything. That's just the way they did it at the factory. So there you go. All right, let me flip this case over, give you a better idea what it actually looks like where the modulator goes. All right, sorry about that. All right, I'm back. So now I'm going to take the valve. I'm going to slide it in. Now you watch. See, I'm coming in. Okay. I'm just using my finger right now. Now, right there, you seen how easy mine went in, is the end of the line. Okay? Doesn't go any farther than that. All right. So, take your needle nose. I don't want this to be a long video, but when I reply to people's questions in the comments about they changed the modulator and things still don't work, and I ask them about this valve, they don't know what I'm talking about. You see this one here runs real smooth. Excuse me, slides real smooth. So now, hang on, I'm going to flip the transmission case back over. Okay, now we're going to install the vacuum modulator. So make sure your new modulator has a new O-ring with it as well. Go ahead and put a little, I just use a little tranny fluid, just a drop, smear it around, install it. Okay, we're in there. Now, like I said, remember the orientation that you took this bracket off. See, I'll show you now that it's out. So if you put it in backwards, where the bend goes away from the transmission case, then you can see what's going to happen. You're just going to pull the modulator out, which you don't want to do. So now, hang on, I got to push it in place. Okay. So, turn it around to where it goes back to the case, and put your bolt in. Now be very careful with these bolt threads in the case, because I see a lot of these little ears broken off. And once you do that, I've either got to order a bracket or make a bracket, which is the case these days because you can't seem to get a lot of parts in for some reason. All right, so then you snug it down, and you can go 15 pounds if you can get a torque wrench up in there. I wouldn't recommend it. Somewhere around, 10 pounds at the most, foot-pounds of torque. So, all right, then I get questions about adjusting the vacuum modulator. So, get your small straight screwdriver, such as this one, and right in there, you'll see that little valve inside there. I don't know. There we go. And you take the valve, take your little screwdriver, and you turn it to the right. Half a turn, one turn, half a turn, two turns. Okay? All right, and what you're doing there is when these things are made, when you're brand new, they screw the valve in so far. And I say go ahead and turn it in 1.5 to 2 turns to start with. And what that does is allows the transmission to shift a little firmer and a little later in the RPM range. All right, guys. Well, hopefully this video is going to help you in figuring out your issues. Just remember, when you change a modulator, there's a little more to it than just changing a modulator. As long as when you pull the rubber hose off of here, and if there's no transmission fluid coming out of this, then this may not be your problem. it may be the valve inside the case that I showed you earlier in the video. So keep that in mind. You should take a pair of needle nose pliers, remove it, clean it, Scotch-Brite the outside of it like I told you. Make sure the holes are open in the valve. Just doing a recap here. And make sure the valve slides in and out all the way before you put your new modulator in. Or heck, if you don't have any transmission fluid coming out of this, put the old modulator back in. All right. Hope this video helped you out. If it did, give me a thumbs up on the video. Leave a comment below. I do answer questions. And that's really all I can tell you. Subscribe to the channel. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. Click on that notification bell and hit all. And that way you will be notified of other videos in the future that I'm posting to my channel. And also, if you go to my playlists, you'll see Turbo 350 videos. I'll be adding this one to it as well, but there's other Turbo 350 videos in my playlists labeled Turbo 350 videos. So check them out. All right, guys. Hope this helps. Appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on the next one.